Hello and welcome to this week's Spotlight on an ABM resource. This week we're talking about the profit review. Emma, could you tell us about the profit review, please?
Yes, certainly. So this is a very simple little resource that you can add on to the back of accounts. A really simple document that basically shows them, if the profits are this year, would they prefer them to be another amount? And it very simply looks at how they can look at some of the key sales drivers in their business to improve their profits by 2%, 5%, 10%. Really simple. And it's designed, again, to make you get your client to think about the opportunity there is out there for growth in their business and the consequences of doing small steps. Now, this would probably naturally lead on to using something like Simple Stuff That Works or Business Potential, but that involves quite a lot of our time as accountants. What this does is it allows us to just start judging whether people are interested in the business growth work, whether they do want to grow their business, because if you can put something simple like this, it has a letter that's involved that basically says, this is what I think your business could be worth. Do you want to come and have a free meeting with me to discuss it? And that just opens the conversation, which I know a lot of accountants find that the most difficult bit is going from the accountant to the business advisor. And this is a first steps to introducing that.
And the fact that it's a 2 or 3% up to 10%, it shows that actually just very small changes can make a big difference, can't it?
Exactly. I think sometimes people can put in large numbers into something, into sort of other tools that show how business grows, and they can be almost unbelievable. But sticking to the 2, the 5 and the 10, you can say that actually we're talking about the business owner not having to do a huge amount of work either to make those changes, but they could have a significant difference onto the profits.
Brilliant. So again, is there a type of client that this should be sent to, or could it apply to most business clients?
I think with all things, it's really important that you don't prejudge who will be interested in these things. Obviously, your business clients are the key ones, but it can be in all sorts of areas. And even if nothing else, this letter might just get them to have a conversation with you about what's happening in their business. Because sometimes we might only see our clients at the year-end accounts meeting, and we may not have discussed something like this. So having this little bit of data in front of you, being able to just have that conversation, you can't prejudge which clients are wanting to grow and which aren't, because you don't know their circumstances all the time.
So let's say that a client is incredibly intrigued by the numbers on there, comes back, has the conversation with the accountant. What should the accountant then maybe offer as a next step?
Well, I would suggest that depending on your confidence of delivery, you would probably use either Business Potential or Simple Stuff That Works. Simple Stuff That Works is lovely because actually what you can do is break that down into 6 or 7 standalone little consultancy packages where you look at the 7 key drivers, and that makes builds on that know, like and trust, because you can start doing something very obvious like pricing at the beginning, and then move on to other actions that the client can do, and you're proving the worth of those things. That's obviously a paid for service, but because I would always recommend you put guarantees on anything like that. So they do the first one, they think you can guarantee that they're going to get value out of that and come away with some ideas, then they'll start believing in the other steps and take that advice.
And just to emphasise, that value guarantee isn't about whether they go and implement the stuff, it's whether they've had value, see the value in the strategic conversations that you've had, isn't it?
Yes.
Which is very different from people feeling that they have to rely on their client implementing that stuff for it to happen. I
agree. I think one of the nice things that you can always do is say to your client, obviously you will go away with an action plan of things you can do, and that's the value of what you're delivering, but then to ask permission to follow it up and say, would you mind if I rang you in a couple of weeks to see which of these things you've actually done? Because that keeps because that as we all know, it's hard to implement things when you get back into your office or back into your business doing work. So having somebody that holds you to account a little bit, that can be nice. And even if it's just that sort of phone call to remind people you're here, is a good thing. Yeah,
people really value that accountability. It keeps the momentum going.
Yeah, and all from a very simple little document to start with. That's what I'm trying to say, is that that can lead on to such great work, business development, but from a very simple 1-page letter that's gone on the back of the account or with the accounts.
Fantastic. Oh, thank you very much. So, profit review in System Builder. Take a look at that. All the best. Bye bye.